Hi, I'm Annie. Contact information is in the description. Today I'm going to share a cool free game that you can play to help identify and contemplate your values. You can print the cards or play the online version. I'll put a link to the value card sort in the description. So you can print these cards or play online, and they just list a whole bunch of values and you sort them into very important to me, somewhat important, or not important. It's beneficial to know your values because people tend to be happier when their lifestyle and their actions are aligned with their values. So when you're deciding what habits you want to build in your life, it's good to be super familiar with your values to make sure that the habits that you choose, the habits that you prioritize, are in alignment with your high priority values. This value card sort game is really fun to do with a friend or a partner to get to know them better, or just to get to know yourself better, to contemplate your own values. Everyone is going to sort these differently. If you take 100 people, they're all going to put these cards into different piles and different priorities. So if you play this game with a friend, you might be surprised by the way that they prioritize the cards, and you might even surprise yourself as you're playing the game. You might learn new things about yourself by sorting these values into different priorities. So now I'm gonna play the game so you can see what it looks like. When you play online, you're just sorting them into the categories, they have all 4 categories. But when you print it out, they don't have somewhat important. And I wrote that in because I do find it's helpful. It can be tricky to commit any one of these to a category, and it's helpful to have this somewhat important designation. So remember, these are gonna be different for every single person. If you take 100 people, they're all gonna sort these differently. So some of these things that are true for me will not make sense to you, obviously, and you would put them in a different category. So self-knowledge, to have deep and honest understanding of myself. Purpose, to have meaning and direction in my life. Passion, to have deep feelings about ideas, activities, or people. Safety, to be safe and secure. And then they have these blank ones where you can write in another value if you want to. Cooperation, to work collaboratively with others. Contribution, to make a lasting contribution to the world. So here's where I get hung up. It's the word lasting. And it's lasting is connecting it to time. When I make a contribution, I am thinking about now. I'm not concerned about whether or not there's some legacy connected to my contribution. So I'm going to say somewhat important. Adventure, to have new and exciting experiences. I'm going to say somewhat important because I sort of like it when things are the same, although I do have a lot of conceptual adventures. I'm just not a big physical adventure person. Like, I don't want to skydive. I don't need to have a lot of travel. So I think I conceptualize adventure differently than a lot of people do. So that's why I put it there. Change, to have a life full of change and variety. Not really. Kind of like routine, but I do have a lot going on conceptually in my inner world where there's a lot of change and excitement. Faithfulness, to be loyal and true in relationships. That is important. Fame, to be known and recognized. Not important. Family, to have a happy and loving family. I'm going to say important, but I would change that to emotionally mature. Yeah. I don't know, something about, I really appreciate that all the people of my family are emotionally mature and there's no drama. So yeah, I guess important to me. Fitness, to be physically fit and strong. Yes, important. I think basic fitness is important to me. Like uber fitness, not so much. Beauty, to appreciate beauty around me. Yes. Caring, to take care of others. Yes. Commitment, to make enduring and meaningful commitments. Yes. To be accepted as I am. Somewhat important. I feel that it's way more important to me that I accept others as long as I'm being authentic and genuine. Whether or not they accept me is outside of my control, so I feel kind of neutral about whether or not people accept me. Compassion, to feel and act on concern for others. Important. Accuracy, to be accurate in my opinions and beliefs. No. Opinions and beliefs are subjective. How can you be accurate in your beliefs or opinions? That doesn't make any sense. It makes sense that I'm as accurate and truthful with myself about my opinions and beliefs, and that I'm really digging to be open. How can you be accurate with opinions and beliefs? It just doesn't make sense. They're too subjective. Attractiveness, to be physically attractive, somewhat important. Oh, that's so convenient, because I'm somewhat attractive and it's somewhat important for me to be attractive. So that's beautiful. That really lines up. Achievement, to have important accomplishments according to me. Yes, it's important for me to have important accomplishments according to me. It's not important that other people think that my accomplishments and achievements are important. Wealth, to have plenty of money. I would say to have enough money is important to me. World peace, to work to promote world peace. I'm gonna kind of say no, because I would say that it's more important for me to work on my own inner peace. My inner peace is what I'm responsible for. That being said, if everyone took responsibility for their own inner peace, there probably would be world peace. Generosity, to give what I have to others. Yes, with the caveat that I'm giving from a place of overflowing. Knowledge, to learn and contribute value and knowledge. I like learning things. Yeah. Flexibility, to adjust to new circumstances. It's important to me. I'm not endlessly flexible. I don't desire to be more flexible than it's appropriate for me to be. I desire to be flexible as long as the boundaries are healthy. Excitement, to have a life full of thrills and stimulation. Not important, or I would say somewhat important. What I find thrilling and stimulating is more like conceptual. So again, not like jumping out of an airplane or like world traveling. Not important to me. Rationality, to be guided by reason and logic, is not important to me. Duty, to carry out my duties and obligations. Yeah, if I say I'm going to do something, then yes, I will likely carry it out, and that's important to me. Power, to have control over others. No, except for my dogs. I like to have control over my dogs because I think they should be well behaved and I'm trying to keep them safe. But over other people, no. Romance, to have intense, exciting love in my life. Not really. No, love is a lot of things. I think they're talking more about like romance. I don't know. It's not that important to me. Risk, to take risks and chances. Yes, I take a lot of risks. I'm self-employed. That is very risky. Realism, to see and act realistically and practically. Somewhat important. Tradition, to follow and respect patterns of the past. No, I like some traditions, but it's not, I don't know. I'm not really rigid about that. I mean, like there are certain traditions that I like, but it's not like important to me to follow traditions just for the sake of following traditions, I just like them because there's some nostalgia there. Authority, to be in charge of and responsible for others. No, except my dogs. To be well liked by many people. Not important. Friendship, to have close, supportive friends. Somewhat important. Fun, to have play and have fun. I'm not a big fun person. I guess what I consider to be fun is probably boring to other people. Sexuality, to have an active and satisfying sex life. It's not my highest priority. I don't think about that much, actually. It could be my age, because I'm 46. It's just not the highest priority in my mind. Order, to have a life that is well ordered and organized. Yes. Pleasure, to feel good. Yeah, I like feeling good. Self-esteem, to feel good about myself. Yes. Responsibility, to make and carry out responsible decisions. Yes, according to me. Those decisions might not seem responsible according to other people. It's important that I'm acting responsibly according to my views on what responsibility means in that situation. Simplicity, to live life simply with minimal needs. Yeah, I'm kind of like that. Humility, to be modest and unassuming. Okay, who would say that? Like, if you're earnestly humble, then it means you're not humble. I don't know, this almost doesn't mean anything to me. It's more like being authentic is more, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll just say somewhat important. See, this is a spot where I would have to go back and really think about why don't I have strong feelings about this? Dependability, yes. If I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. Service, to be of service to others, yes. So this is interesting because I put generosity as important to me, but service as very important. And I think that's because when I give to people, it's about providing utility in some way. Somehow the word generosity has a different connotation than being of service. Ecology, living in harmony with the environment. Moderation, to avoid excesses and find a middle ground. Important. Hope, to maintain a positive and optimistic outlook. I would say strive for that. Don't force it. Never a good idea to force a positive outlook. Loved, to be loved by those close to me. Again, that's one where I feel like it's more important for me to love them and then to be myself. And if they love me back, that's amazing, but I can't control whether or not they love me, so I don't have a whole lot invested in that, but it just so happens that the people close to me do love me. So that's nice. Justice, to promote fair and equal treatment for all. Yes. Nurturance, to take care of and nurture others. Yes, that feels good to have people close to me that I can take care of. Monogamy, to have one close, loving relationship. That's important to me. I think it's way more complex than that. Like in a lifetime, I don't know if it's just, I don't know. Self-acceptance, to accept myself as I am. Very important. Leisure, to take time to relax and enjoy. Yes, that's important to me. Although when I have downtime, I'm usually working because I like to work and do things. I like to do creative projects. Honesty, to be honest and truthful. Yes, especially with myself. So I'm okay with little white lies. But yeah, about the big things, yeah, it's important to be honest. But the number one important thing is to be honest with myself. Loving, to give love to others. Yes, that's very important. It feels good. And it's kind of like the main point of life. To live conscious and mindful of the present moment. Yes, important to me. Independence, to be free from dependence on others. I would say emotional independence and emotional autonomy is more important to me than practical independence. So like when you're in a relationship for a long time, there are certain codependencies that come up. They're sort of like just normal, natural, okay things. Healthy codependence, sort of. So let's not say codependence. Let's say interdependence. So I do things for my partner that come from my strengths, and he does things for me that come from his strengths, and I would call that an interdependence, which I love because sometimes it's easier to get through life if you have like a teammate rather than doing all the practical things by yourself. Solitude, absolutely very important. Industry, to work hard and well at my life's tasks. Yes, I like to do things mindfully and consciously and well. Humor, to see the humorous sides of myself and the world. Very important. Mastery, to be competent in my everyday activities. Yes, I like to do everyday things the best that I can. Inner peace, to experience personal peace. Yes, very important. Nonconformity, to question and challenge authority and norms. Yes, I'm a big fan of questioning the status quo. Intimacy, to share my innermost experiences with others. Yeah, that is very important. Openness, to be open to new experience, ideas, and opinions. Very important. Forgiveness, to be forgiving of others is very important. God's will, to seek and obey the will of God. No, that's way too complicated. What is the will of God? Nobody knows. So it's important to me to accept what is. So in that sense, I would say, yes, I would strive to accept what is. Is what is God's will? I really don't know where to put this. Genuineness, to act in a manner that is true to who I am. Yes. Creativity, to have new and original ideas. I love new ideas. Having a new idea is like crack to me. It's my favorite feeling. Courtesy, to be considerate and polite towards others. Yes, but my conception of what is polite is different from others. My conception of politeness has more to do with utility. Like I will behave in a manner that makes things easier for the people around me. For example, using my turn signals. I do that as a courtesy to people. But like fake politeness or kind of adhering to social courtesies. Yeah, I would say it's important for me to be courteous, but it has to do with utility and making things work for people. Helpfulness, to be helpful to others. Yes, I love being helpful. When I worked in retail years ago, I worked in an art supply store. I just loved helping people solve their creative problems. And if I'm in the grocery store and someone's lost and sort of muttering to themselves, like, where's the pasta sauce? Where's the pasta sauce? Even though I don't know them, I'll jump in and I'll tell them where the pasta sauce is because I know exactly where it is because I go to the same grocery store all the time. And yeah, it feels good to be helpful. Health, to be physically well and healthy. Very important. Growth, to keep changing and growing. Very important. Comfort, to have a pleasant and comfortable life. Yeah, somewhat important, somewhat, because you want challenges, right? I mean, challenges come up If it was all comfortable all the time, it might be boring. You know, like imagine living somewhere where it's always 72 degrees. That's boring. There's no weather. So I want it to be comfortable, but I want discomfort and challenges because growth is important to me, and discomfort and challenges generate growth. Autonomy, very important. Challenge, to take on difficult tasks and problems. Yes, very important. Stability, to have a life that stays fairly consistent. Yeah, on a practical level, I like routine and stability. Okay, so that's it. I've sorted my values. Some of these might seem crazy to you. Like, why the heck did she put that in not important, but the other one in very important? I don't know. I'm doing it really fast. I'm just making quick decisions, and I'm learning about myself from the way that I sorted these, and you can learn a lot about yourself when you play the game. All right, that's all for now.